So I started the retrofit kind of accidentally. It really all started out with a $25 bearing, or for the want of a $25 bearing, on my laundry machine. Started to fail, make a lot of clunking noises. I got the repair person over and they looked at it and they said, one of the bearings at the back is gone. It just needs replacing. Shouldn't be a big deal. He looked for a week online all across North America and could not find a 5/8 inch bearing. So we were looking at buying a new dryer, and I thought, okay, this is the time to start weaning off of gas, and looked for an electric dryer and a washing machine to go with it. And that was the beginning. So our retrofit project grew from there with an idea that I wanted to get off of gas altogether at some point. The next thing that seemed obvious was the gas stove. And then the really big move was our hot water and radiator heating system. We are really blessed. We get to live basically in a park. We live on the Toronto Island. Our home is one of 260 houses out here. My house, interestingly enough, was actually built in 1905, right where the airport is. And about 24 of those houses were floated across the harbor and dragged up here on Algonquin Island, and I wish I could have seen that. We got the house in 2006. It had barely been touched since 1938. Being an architect, I thought, what can I do to make this house last another 100 years, be really comfortable and beautiful? We did a lot of changes to the way the house looks. The whole house is a good size. It's about 1,450 square feet. It was not so comfortable when we bought it. It was drafty. We had a blower door test done. He told me he had never tested such a leaky house. Our renovation included making the house much snugger. We basically put a sweater on it of green rock wool insulation all around the house, sealed it up for leaks, put in new windows, put a new metal roof on that will outlast me, and really made a huge difference. That alone, that insulation, the house became much more comfortable. We made a transition from, there was a gas big space heater, but it gave off a lot of fumes inside the house because it wasn't totally sealed. We replaced that with a really, really good quality gas boiler that heated all the water for our rads and all the water for showers, called a combi boiler. Sealed combustion, super efficient. And at the time when we did that, around 2008, 2009, that was the cleanest energy we had. Now we've come full circle, and gas is now the dirty thing. Our electrical grid, we got rid of the coal burning plants around 2015, I think it was. And our electrical grid in Ontario is really quite clean. Really clean in terms of greenhouse gas emissions, and that was our reason why we felt it's time to stop using gas in our house for everything. Heating, water, cooking. We don't need to use gas anymore. Electricity works really well, it's really efficient, and it's really clean. One of the biggest challenges we faced in our journey to get off of gas was what to do about our radiator heating system. So it was a search to find the right equipment, and equipment that can work in our climate on really cold days. And I was really fortunate to run into the president of a company called Hydro Solar at an event, and Hydro Solar is a Canadian company. They got into heat pumps for hot water, and that's called an air to water heat pump. Pretty simple. Going into this, I thought I knew a fair bit about what I was doing, and I realized I only knew this little. I've learned about so many things. Now that we've got off of gas, things are so different. I have to say, we weren't even fully off of gas. When we got rid of that gas stove, we replaced that with an induction cooktop. Everything changed. My wife, who has a very fine sense of smell, commented about how much fresher the air was in the house right away. When you cook with gas, you get particles in the air. Those are gone. It's a much healthier home. It just feels fresher when you walk in the door. I am most proud that we were able to call up Enbridge and ask them to come and remove their gas meter. So to take a 100-year-old house and make it fossil fuel free, I think it's a huge win. If someone's on the fence about doing a retrofit, just take the first step, whatever that might be. For us, it was this ridiculous need to find a $25 little bearing for our gas dryer that we couldn't find, so we switched to an electric dryer. That already was a win. I think my biggest piece of advice though is if you're using gas for heating, is do the homework now to figure out that when you need to replace your gas system, which usually happens in the middle of a cold night in winter that things break, that you already know the size and type of what kind of equipment you want to put in for a heat pump. That way you won't be panicking and you won't be forced into a bad decision.